Welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff here with co-host Chip. What is going on, everybody? What's going on, Chip? I'll tell you what's going on. Ripple just made one of its boldest moves yet, a $1 billion acquisition of GTreasury, a corporate finance giant managing trillions in global liquidity. This isn't just another partnership. This is Ripple stepping into the heart of global finance where the real money moves.
Yeah, and we're talking about like $120 trillion treasury market that fuels the world's largest corporations. And now Ripple's technology, liquidity, and XRP are right in the middle of it. But what's really behind the move? A strategic masterstroke or something much bigger? We are going to find out because that's what we do here on the chain. We're going to research this. We're going to workshop it. You ready to go, Jeff? Let's go.
Let's go.
Welcome to On the Chain.
Welcome everybody to On the Chain. On the chain. On the chain.
On the chain.
On the chain. Badass
The
Yetis. Badassery.
Yetis.
Badassery. Everybody, welcome. Welcome. I see everybody's in here. I see that.
Everybody's here already.
Everybody's here.
Almost.
Look at that.
November 20th. It's all coming to an end. Don't know what that is.
Hope
It's
XRP 's
November
in the middle
20th.
of it.
It's close to Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it is Thanksgiving. Close to Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, just south of Orlando at the gates of Disney.
Celebrate good times. Come on.
Celebration is in Florida. Yeah, celebration. Same kind of watches as the missus. Man.
Well, I told you guys my watch is always set for 15 minutes slow. 15 minutes
See how
slow.
that works? See how that works? See how that works? You see how it works? I do. I definitely see how it works. Well, we got our Badass Yeti coffee here. Badassery. We just rebranded.
Badass. We have rebranded. Kick-ass logo. Kick-ass
We'll have the merch.
coming.
Hopefully we'll have some merch available for tomorrow.
Oh, man, that'll be awesome.
Some merch for the Badassery. Flaming Squad.
Badassery rebrand is so kick-ass. Chip put together something freaking amazing. Amazing.
Super happy about it, man. It's like took a little bit of time, but man, we've had the name for a long time, Jeff, and we just finally got around to kind of getting things organized. And
That's right.
you'll start seeing things roll out. New website, Badassery website's going to roll out. We got a brand new NFT project that's going to be rolling out. So it's all coming to a head, as they say. So it'll be great. And a lot of things to workshop here today. Lots of things to chat about. Probably
A lot of stuff going.
Get off to our first story right here.
A lot to put together.
Let's start off with this, Jeff. Let's start off with let me just show what this looks like there. Look at that. That's going to be on merch pretty soon. I mean, we'll probably nix the coffee. We'll nix the coffee piece right there, but that's what's going to go on the merch right there. The Badassery.
Look at that. Imagine getting a shirt with that, hat with that, with the
Badassery,
baby. Flaming skull. Gotta love it.
It's great, right? Gotta love it. Gotta love it, man.
One of the best.
So that's going to be
By
awesome.
far one of the best.
All right, let's get to it. Let's get to some crypto news. There's some crypto stuff going on. I mean, Ripple. What a bunch of moves they've made. I mean, it was just last December they did the Ripple USD, so it was fairly amazing. But here's their official announcement. Talk about the Ripple is acquiring the treasury management leader, not just the company, the leader, GTreasury, and then the fusion of Ripple's enterprise crypto solutions with GTreasury's 40 plus years of expertise immediately opens the multi-trillion-dollar corporate treasury market, which is massive.
So impressive.
Getting into the treasury market, I mean, you can just see that Ripple is becoming a fintech powerhouse. I mean, with all their transmitter licenses, with their custody, it's insane what they're up to, and they are just really leading the way. So
yeah.
And then they say, we'll learn how this move enables CFOs and treasurers to unlock idle capital and transfer funds instantly for the world's largest brand. So when you do an acquisition like this, you automatically acquire all of the people that they're already working with, right? So when you look at it in that way, in that respect, you're taking this one acquisition and you're basically making it available to everything else Ripple offers as a whole. So there's a lot of cross-pollination going on here, which is phenomenal. You gotta love that.
Yeah, it's super impressive. I'm excited to see even, these guys, you don't see this often, but when you pull up the website for GTreasury and you scroll right to the top, Ripple acquires GTreasury. The future of corporate treasury has no friction, no boundaries. And there's a good read on that right there. But then you kind of get into what these guys do. They have G Smart, introducing G Smart AI, amplified treasury and finance solution. So Ripple definitely stepped up and made a massive purchase with this one.
It's
And
$1
these guys
billion,
are shouting it out all already. Yeah, big numbers, definite big numbers on that purchase.
I think it's the biggest one to date as far as what they've. I don't think they've ever made $1 billion acquisition. I know the last couple have been around the 200-300 million range, but maybe I don't know.
Right.
Maybe I don't remember. But $1 billion is pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're fans of XDC here. Absolutely, 100%.
Yep.
And I saw that. What's the 401k? The they just opened it up to XDC. I saw the other day. What's the big one over there? I can't think of the name. It eludes me. I got the email and I was like, oh, that's cool. Good. That's kind of late, but kind of late. But
Hidden Road was 1.1.
Oh, Hidden Road. Okay, there you go. 1.1 billion. Okay, so they got
they're on all sorts of billions around. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, that's the kind of
billions.
Nobody's. Yeah, which is interesting because that's right. That was 1.1 billion. Hidden Road is another one, man. I trust. Thank you. Chad is our official. Is the official
information.
Yeah, the eye keeper. He's the eye keeper, so he keeps all the information. It's like there's too many things. There's like I come across so many things on a daily basis. I can't remember all. It's like, damn. Thank you very much. Yep, Ray runs to trust. Yep, I trust capital. So yeah, they just made XDC available on their platform, which is fantastic. And what's nice about if you think about if you're going to, and it's just a kind of an aside right here, Jeff, but it's something that I would recommend. Like if you're looking towards one day, retiring, when you get to that age when you want to retire, and you think like, well, I'm only like 36, or why would I think about that now? Well, the reason you think about it is because if you put a little bit, as when you're younger, maybe not going to have as aggressive of a sort of a game plan as you would if you were like an older guy like me, where you say like, okay, yeah, another 10, 15 years, I want to go ahead and think about retirement. What's nice about that was you put it in something that I trust, especially in the States. I don't know how it works in other countries, but the thing is that once you put it in, you're not going to get taxed on it the same way as if you were going to get taxed on crypto. So the tax event is very, very different. So if you're going to buy, whatever, you say like, I'm going to buy 500 tokens of this. Well, put 25% of it into like an iTrust. And I'm not saying iTrust specifically. There's a bunch of them out there. I actually have a couple of them that I use. Good to spread it around a little bit. And if you were to do that, it's just sitting there accumulating, right? And the cool thing is you can still trade on the platform. If you say, hey, I want to move it into something, I want to move it into Bitcoin, it blows up, and now you want to put it into a Bitcoin, or you want to put it into whatever else you want to do. You want to ride the Ethereum wave for a while after it crashes. You can you're still trading. You're not like, it's like I stuck it there and it's just there forever. No, you can still have access to it and still trade it. But it's cool to see XDC there because the all-time high was something like 19 cents. I think it's hovering around 5-6 cents last time I checked. So it's going to blow past 19 at some point, right? I mean, it's more than, a pretty good hunch that that's going to happen.
What is XDC at now? 2 cents?
I don't know. No, I thought it was around 5 when I looked at it the other day. I don't know. Let me look at my phone here. It's probably the easiest access here. Let me see. XDC.
And I trust you can roll over from one 401k into
Correct.
it, can't you?
Yeah, you can. And I'm actually looking at moving something into that as well. Same thing. So yeah.
No monthly or annual fees. No startup or exit fees. Crypto transaction is buy and sells 1%. Gold transaction 75 and silver transaction $3.25. So
yeah, it's 0.059, right under 6 cents. Okay, right under 6 cents. But if you look, let's say if we take a look at the 1 month, it's been a little bit higher. It was at almost 7.5 cents. But if you look at 1 year, it's been as low as 2 cents, 3 cents.
Yeah. Yep.
So a year ago it was 3 cents. So it's automatically almost a 2x type of a thing there. But anyway, that's something to consider if you guys are going to do that. Set one of those up for yourself. And if you have, like I have a 401k that kind of almost forgot about, but it's like I'm going to roll some of that into the into crypto. But it's done really well. I'm kind of wondering if I should, because it's been performing at 14%, Jeff. That's pretty strong. 14% over the last year, and it was like 12% the previous year.
What was that? Your 401k?
No, I'm saying,
you're talking about.
No, I'm talking about a separate one. This is one of the ones I have with Fidelity. Got a couple with Fidelity.
Okay.
I trust only my back pocket. Oh, good. You trust your back pocket. I hope you lock those seed phrases up somewhere really special, because when time goes by, shit happens. Ask a guy named Stephen Thomas. Ask him. He was the chief tech officer over at Ripple, and he lost $450 million. Just keep trusting your back pocket. I'm sure it's going to serve you well.
Yeah. Imagine that. Could you imagine that?
I trust my back pocket until you don't. Well, I trust in my back pocket. And I have a little bit on I call it a little bit. It's a pretty decent stash of money, but here's somebody who knows. Here's somebody who trusts his back pocket and doesn't know the freaking password when he goes to move it off of the Zaman wallet. And I've got a couple accounts on there, but the one that I have got some XRP stashed on there. And I remember going and doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. And now I don't know where it is, and I can't find it. And I'm like crazy when it comes to that shit. I write stuff down. I put stuff in saves. I do all the stuff. I have no idea what it is. And guess what? I can never move it off there. I can access it. I can see it, but it's useless. So keep trusting yourself. Keep trusting yourself.
As long as you can see it.
Keep trusting yourself, because yourself will fail you. And when your self fails you and you lose out on some money, it's a rough road, man. Good luck on that back pocket. I say and if you trust people in your life, give them make sure that they have some kind of access. I really like this brand new wallet that came out for Bitcoin. I asked the guys, I asked the team if they had it for other, and they said no, it was just Bitcoin. But the whole idea is it gets rid of seed phrases, and it was a very clever way of doing it. I'm like, guys, why are you wasting this just on Bitcoin? I get it, but you're just excluding this massive audience that's already out there. So why would you even do that? Brad Garlinghouse chimed in on this. He said, today Ripple's breaking into the $120 trillion, trillion with a T, corporate treasury payments market with the $1 billion acquisition of GTreasury. The past few years have reminded the industry why payments first and foremost is the primary use case for crypto and blockchain. Payments are where Ripple first started for exactly these reasons. The infrastructure is complex, siloed, inefficient, but as we know, perfectly positioned to benefit from decentralized finance technology. And he's so spot on right there. And Ripple is really turning into probably one of the premier. I mean, yeah, you could look at them as like, oh yeah, these XRP and they have, their own. But as a company, as a fintech company, becoming a massive powerhouse over here. Monica Long, president of Ripple, said, I'm excited for Ripple and GTreasury to help corporates move money around the world faster, cheaper, 24/7, 365 days a year, and actively manage and grow their money through safe, more efficient solutions. It's the Ripple platform put to work at the global corporate scale. And I don't think you could underestimate how powerful this sentence is right here. The Ripple platform put to work on the global corporate scale. We're talking about globally, but the whole idea is this Ripple platform. When she's talking about the platform, she's talking about all of their offerings. It's becoming a one-stop shop for everything. She goes on to say that the opportunity to unlock trillions trapped capital for corporates is huge and ambitious. And did I say exciting? Here we go. I mean, Hidden Road was certainly a big one, but I think this one right here puts Ripple in a whole different class, a whole different category. It's just such a massive undertaking. When I saw this news, I was like, holy crap, this is insane what Ripple's up to. I mean, you got to give them a lot of credit for turning it on. This is their official presser right here. But right here, Brad, his official quote was, for too long, money's been stuck in slow, outdated payment systems, infrastructure, causes unnecessary delays, high cost roadblocks to entering new markets. Problems that blockchain technologies are really suited to solve. They'll bring the best of both worlds, so Treasury and finance teams can finally put their trapped capital. And that's the whole thing. When he talks about trapped capital, the capital's just sitting there, doing nothing, not working for you. So that's another big thing right there. It opens up growth opportunities as the financial world shifts towards digital assets accelerates. Fortune 500 CFOs and treasuries need to be equipped to manage stablecoins, tokenized deposits, other assets at scale. Ripple's acquisition of GTreasury brings that digital asset infrastructure and decades of corporate expertise to help customers move, manage, and optimize, here's the key word, liquidity in real time. Ripple and GTreasury focus on enabling customers to unlock that idle capital, tap into the multi-trillion-dollar global repo market via prime broker Hidden Road, see how that works, earning more on short-term assets. And that's the thing, when you have this capital, you don't want to trap it, so you can earn money on stuff that you're going to move. But this is how the banks have been doing it for years. So, the banks always hang on to your money because that's what they're doing. Sure, it's only a little bit of money, but when you pool all that money together on a short-term asset basis, they're earning money on it. Making money with money. Move money instantly. You got the 24/7, 365 cross-border competitive rates. The other thing it does is it also eases the pain of the of effects that you normally have when going between different currencies. It's a watershed moment for treasury management. We focused on providing the most compliant and feature-rich solutions to corporations around the globe. Now, by joining Ripple, we're accelerating our vision from managing capital to activating it, says Renat Berek, GTreasury CEO, combination of cash forecasting, risk management, compliance, foundation with Ripple speed, global network. And I also too think that they will also bring a lot of their technology to this company as well. I've seen some people talk about that maybe the technology is a little bit on the outdated side. The thing is they've got the market and they are the leader, and more people will join because what he's saying here is like, they were at a point where all they were doing was just this one little piece. Now they're basically going to be able to accelerate what they had originally intended and manage capital, from just managing the capital to, making it work for companies. So third major acquisition in 2025 alone, following the purchases of Hidden Road and stable coin platform Rail. So they're putting all the pieces, anything that's missing. So the stable coin, platform of Rail, being able to move, and what they're also doing is they're increasing their bottom line because they're acquiring these clients, and now these clients are going to start intermingling, right? So people that are just maybe coming over from this one platform are going to be engaging with Hidden Road. They're going to be engaging with Ripple's other side of the platform, the stablecoin side of it. It all comes together. And if you think about this, here we are sitting here at the middle of October, Jeff. We're 10 months in, but it was just last December where the announcement was made that Ripple was introducing a stablecoin. All of this going on. It felt like with that lawsuit, a lot of this stuff was happening in the background and planning, Jeff. It had to have been because it's moving at lightning speed.
Building, developing, all this stuff was stacked up. They must have had their buy orders in, their objectives, everything, all the companies they wanted to purchase. Everything was being stacked up. But we saw what they were doing in the Middle East and around Europe. There was a lot of movement and development. And so these new acquisitions obviously take a lot of planning, a lot of strategic initiative, but then think about all the negotiation that went into it as well. So during this lawsuit period, so the big buy, if you're buying $1 billion company, it's not like it just happened a month ago. It's not 2 months ago. There must have been negotiation over time. Could have been a 6-month negotiation. It could have been a 12-month plan. They must have laid it out, and they start putting all these pieces together. And now they're, one by one making the acquisition. They've got the money situated. They've got the lawsuit behind them. A lot of positives coming out. Good administration that's pro crypto. Big things are going to happen in 26 in terms of legislation. They know it. They're stacking the deck to make sure they're successful with it. And they're planning from an institutional perspective. They're not retail. A lot of companies out there focus on retail. They're going to come and go. Right? Retail is super fickle. And so they're going to come and go. These guys position themselves on the institution side. They're already well known. They've got 12 years in institutions. They've been working with the banks, talking to the banks, educating the banks, all the big financial institutions. They're one of the first players to to have an initiative like this, and now they're putting their money where their mouth is, and you can see it. And these are massive moves. So if you can't build it, you buy it, and that's what they're doing. They're buying position, and it's all. I'm sure that this was already on their game plan, right? And this is also one of the reasons there was all that talk about, from the YouTuber fanboys out there that were trying to promote the fact that they were gonna go public. There was gonna be an IPO. Why would a company like Ripple go public too soon? They go public. They can't make acquisitions like this in the time frame they do it. They're super nimble. They can do what they need to do. They haven't even built their product out in terms of full implementation, and they're going to go IPO. They're going to go public. It makes no sense. Why would they handcuff themselves? This is the problem with so many of the YouTube channels out there that talk about crypto. They have no understanding of true business or finance, or they just want to ignore it and then just make content to create hype and FUD and FOMO around certain moves. But and we talked about it from the beginning, it made no sense for them to IPO, made no sense for them to go public. There's way too much that they have to do and accomplish yet to even walk down that path. And there's no reason for that to happen. So, I'm just really happy to see the direction that this is going. And we have no stake in Ripple. I don't care, really what they do, other than the fact that the passion here is that they're building and developing and bringing tremendous recognition to the crypto space. And that's what it's all about, because we're moving progressively, incrementally in the direction of bringing this asset class and the technology to mainstream attention. And it's not just about speculation. It's about real building. Speculation got the crypto space to this point. Over the past couple of years, it's fun, right? We had the riddles, we had the dancing bears, we had all that stuff. It was fun. We're moving from fun stage to reality stage. Reality stage is more serious. It's serious business. It's billion-dollar purchases. It's not, buying meme coins necessarily. It's billion-dollar plus purchases, and Ripple's done 2 of them. 1.1 for Hidden Road, as Chad reminded us, and 1 billion now for eTreasury. And that's not where it ends. I'm sure we're going to see bigger acquisitions coming in the near future. We're going to see certain crypto initiatives crash and burn and are going to be replaced. And maybe even some of those bigger crypto initiatives will be bought out. I think we're going to start seeing banks being bought out. There's a lot of things that have yet to really appear and happen. So, there's just so much that has to happen yet, Chip. And I want to give a quick shout out to Thomas Brennan for the support here on the chain. You
also
guys
this
want to
one
help
too.
Yes.
This one too. I think it's crazy. You don't have
right.
hundreds of thousands of followers. I mean, well, I think we
should.
would.
We should. And we will.
But
we will. We will.
I think it'll build some momentum. But a lot of
you know what it's going to take, Chip. You know what it's going to take. Everybody invites one friend. If everybody invites one friend to every show,
you got to kill the algorithm that's got us blocked everywhere. So
that's what does it. That's what does
stuff
it.
Down, hidden. We lose followers, but they're not any current videos. It's just very strange.
Yeah. So Northeast Whitewater is saying, how long does it take for you to ship Yeti coffee? So what happens when you place the order gets in, the coffee gets roasted on receipt of the order. It ships out within 24 to 48 hours.
Yeah, but also we did find there was one issue though. When we were doing some audits, we have one that got stuck. So
we do every so often.
There's some kind of glitch.
Funnel.
We haven't been able to determine what goes on. So if you're having an issue, if you did order something, we did see that there was a glitch, but I think that's resolved. So go ahead and let us know. You can always DM us on X as well. But let us know, because we did have one issue. So I'm glad you brought that up. But every once in a while there's some kind of a glitch where something will just stay in a holding pattern. The payment was processed, but for some reason the ticket doesn't get printed for the roast. For the roastery to a piece of it to go out. So look, we're not perfect, but every once in a while we have a little bit of a bug. So if that's why you're asking, but we can look. I mean, we can also make
always
that
let
up
us
to you as
know.
well. Yeah, let us know if there's something going on, or reach out to us personally. But if you like the coffee, we give you a really heavy discount on the next one. If so, we'll be happy to to do that. But every once in a while, something weird goes on. It's only happened twice so far, but unfortunately, we did see that there was something happen on. Crypto says they were just selling linked to SPVs.
They were. That's right. That too. Yeah, and that's what happens. You know, the FOMO, the hype. You know, it's not a net positive. You know, you're going to have kind of bad and good in every industry. It's just natural to see that happen. You go on YouTube, there's a lot of people talking about stocks. There's a lot of people that are in penny stocks also. There's a lot of manipulation in penny stocks. So why wouldn't the same people manipulating penny stocks, the same thought process and and personality would also be in the meme stocks, and they're basically penny stocks, and they're easier to manipulate. And if you have on the penny stock side, you have these groups, they get together and they manipulate the buys and sells to generate revenue. There's always a bag holder, so I don't, as pricing gets ramped up and they keep attracting more buyers to ramp up price, and then they decide to dump all their shares because they were holding from the lowest penny, and now they've ramped it up and they dump, and all of a sudden the market plunges. But there's always a bag holder, and they keep promoting it even on the way down. They just keep trying to find more bag holders, and they make a ton of money. I'm not saying these guys did that, but I'm just saying that there's going to be good and bad in every space.
Yeah, Vincent Van Code put this up talking about this acquisition. He said, "I'm pretty sure no one in crypto Twitter even understands what this is. So here's a short explainer. GTreasury provides software that enables mainly large multinational corporations handle payments, liquidity, cash flow, etc. The software links into banking and payment systems such as SWIFT. It's ISO 20022 compliant. And this acquisition, along with Hidden Road and standard custody and trust, allows Ripple to introduce digital assets into the 100 trillion treasury market. Ripple doesn't need to sell XRP to big corporates. This is just part of the plumbing. The SaaS and UI doesn't change. Software as a service. Basically, it's a sort of like a monthly type of a fee. The user interface is not going to change necessarily, but it just means Ripple progressively rolls out faster, more efficient rails. That's the game. I like that. And let Crypto Eddie put this one out. I saw this morning, which is HG Capital, which bought the AI development. They brought the AI development to GTreasury, agreed on the sale to Ripple. They will fully exit, which is good. It's going to be a good exit for them. If we go back and review what they put in, I don't know what they X'd on their money, multiple of their money, but again, they had to be in agreement for it. Here was the presser on their website.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I was looking at their stock too. Now they're officially listed because this company is based in the UK.
HG.
And HG is listed on the stock market over there.
Over there in England.
In England, they're a public company, so they basically out of London. So, HG, a leading investor in European transatlantic software and services, today announced that it's agreed to the sale of GTreasury, global leader in adaptable treasury solutions for the office of the CFO. It'll be acquired by Ripple. They talk about just a bunch of stuff there. But I was looking at, I don't know, where did I see their stock price? Let me see. It's probably on their homepage here. Here it is, right here.
There it is. It's in 484.
Let's see.
Big number.
Somewhere I saw
Is that it? Was that it?
Let's see. That was it. Yeah, that was it. But I saw some other ones what had the
look at their performance.
Year. They're minus 4% rate on the year. I saw that somewhere, but I don't know where the hell I don't know where it was. Who knows? Who knows at this point? Maybe it was down here.
Yep.
I don't know. I saw it somewhere.
No.
And running through their site, it's a portfolio, but this is it. Like they're kind of like a holding company. So if you look at an investing type of company, they take a piece of every company, so you can see, their some of the organizations that they're part of. And again, each one's going to be different, whatever they bring to it. But you can see some of the organizations that they are involved with. Some of these names you might know, some of them you might not know. But again, they're dumping money into it, so they get a piece of all these companies, and then of course there's GTreasury right there, tax and accounting. It's a weird, sort of like if you want to have there's 5 categories. Oh, we'll put it under tax and accounting. It's actually much bigger than that. But tax, insurance, healthcare, they're all over the place. So they have a lot of orgs that they're a piece of.
Yeah.
So
look at that, sweet.
Lots
It
of
is.
lots of companies here.
It is the bottom of the hour, so I've got two things to say. Number one, get some Badassery coffee. We have rebranded from Badass Yeti's coffee to Badassery. You're going to see more rebrand coming up here in the near future. For tomorrow night, we're going to get some merch up with the Badassery, the new Badassery brand. So you guys are going to be fired up about that. I love it. It's probably one of the nicest logos that that you've seen in quite a while. So the Badassery brand right there, and the Badassery coffee. So here's there it is right there. There's the website, Badassery Coffee. Everything's been rebranded on that. So if you still type in Badass Yeti's Coffee, it's going to bring you there. But Badassery Badassery Coffee, you get the Obsidian Bold and the Noir Symphony. If you like a dark roast, that's the way you go. You can watch the short video on Badassery Coffee right there, front and center on the website. And is it any good, Chip?
It's effing great, Jeff.
Let's hear it from these guys real quick. Here we go.
$5 for a latte. Half of that feeds some hipster's avocado toast habit paired with an oat milk manifesto. Quit financing coffee fads you don't need. It's time to rebel. Your badass great-grandpa had only one tin cup and brewed his coffee over an open fire. We roast to order, ship free, and keep every bean bold enough to wake the dead, or at least your 9 a.m. meeting. We make coffee that punches Mondays in the face. Badassery Coffee. Fresh, fierce, fucking great. Roasted fresh, shipped free. Chaos pending. Order now at badasserycoffee.com. Badasserycoffee.com.
There you have
you
it.
go.
Badasserycoffee.com. And for you guys, I will drop a link below so you guys can jump on that. And also, too, if you own Yetis and you're part of the Discord, you get discounts on it. So
You do
if
get
own,
discounts.
if you own one Yeti, you get a percentage of 2, 3. If you have 3 Yetis, a lot of people have won quite a bit. You can go in there and get a discount code and buy some Badass Yeti coffee. That's the utility we have on the NFTs.
We're going to be adjusting that here in the near future as well.
We will.
Yeah, we will. We haven't had a lot of engagement on the Discord lately, but now with the new rebrand, watch out. But check this out. So get ready. I don't know how many Yetis we have. How many Yeti words have been typed in? I don't even think that many. I think people are holding back, just waiting.
Let me take a look real quick here,
I haven't seen one go through. Zober saying, yeah, it's good coffee. Man, it's roasted fresh. You can't get any better than fresh roasted. You order it, gets roasted, and get your typing fingers ready because
5 and then we have 5
in there. This is going to be up to 20 before the end of the show, but here you go. Let me roll this out, and I think you guys are going to enjoy this one.
Who are the yucks? You'll wish you never asked. Can you win?
Your keys are my wallet.
Your fate.
On the chain.
Your word. Yeti! From the snow they rise. Badass Yetis. White tribe clan yucks. They laugh loud and hit louder. Big feet stomping, snow exploding, wild eyes gleaming, madness loading. They slip, they slide, then wham attack. You're airborne now, no laughing back. Yeti! Ha ha ha! Yeti! Yuck, yuck! Laughing for impact. Yeti! Yeti! Yuck, yuck! They crush, then crack up after that.
White fur flying, mountain cracks.
Comedy cold with a thunderclap smell.
Badass Yetis.
Born for battle.
Made for legend.
Claim yours or be forgotten.
Badass Yetis.
On the chain.
Is on the chain.
Boom. There you go.
There you have it.
have it, people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's get on to our next segment here.
Risky? Is it risky? Is it risky?
A little bit. It might be. Might be a little bit risky. Margaritas.
Holy shit. Like, let's not do that. That's a bad idea. Holy shit. Like,
Okay, Brad. We won't do it. We'll make sure that we don't do it. I have to laugh. I mean, there's so many things that have been going on in the world of geopolitics. I mean, there's so much going on. So you had Zelensky, president of Ukraine, at the White House. You had all kinds of stuff going on. But if you guys know X, you probably know another social media site out there called Blue Sky. And Blue Sky was the lefties' answer to, we think X is too right wing, and we think we don't like Elon Musk, and we want to burn Teslas, and we're mad, and we're angry, and rah, right? So that's kind of how they were acting. So they basically rolled out something called Blue Sky, and Blue Sky was going to be their answer to X and how horrible it was and everything. So basically, they created their own little echo chamber for themselves. Not a lot of people on there, but people are like, "I'm leaving X, I'm going to Blue Sky." Well, they found out that it wasn't so great over there. So much negativity, belly aching, crazy stuff. The White House thought like, we just noticed like maybe these people on Blue Sky aren't seeing our content. So they went ahead and they started opening up accounts over there. They talked to the president or the CEO over there, and they said, well, how is it going to be handled that the White House is going to be there? You know, the president's going to be on there. They're going to have a lot of the main other government agencies on there. And she said, look, Blue Sky's for everybody. We'll see how long that lasts. But anyway, this is the video that they rolled out on Blue Sky. Here it is.
My fellow Americans, our movement is far from over. In fact, our fight has only just begun. We are one movement, one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. So with American pride swelling in our hearts and American courage stirring in our souls, I say these words to you tonight. We will make America great again.
No kings. Holy cow. Talk about triggers, Jeff. Holy cow. I was like dying when I saw that. I might have to join Blue Sky just to go read the comments, because it's probably massive
awesome.
triggered. People angry.
Oh, man.
Jimmy says, oh, brother. And MySpace
Daddy's home.
2.0. Charles says Blue Sky's MySpace 2.0. Blue Sky is for
awesome.
PDF files.
That's exactly what it's for.
Oh my gosh, I was dying over there. But what a week it's been, man. I mean, just when you think you've seen it all, Jeff, when I think, okay, this is exactly what I voted for, I see this and I go, this is exactly what I voted for. Now, some people were taking offense to it. The left was flipping out about it. But President Trump was asked a question, and listen how he responded. And this was on the official White House account. Okay, here we go.
Offered everything in his country, all the natural resources. He even recorded a message to you in English recently, offering mediation. What should we do?
Okay, so he's talking about his President Maduro. Basically agreed to everything, recorded a message for him in English about Venezuela. Remember, he was talking tough, and he was gonna, and now he's like kind of rolled over.
He has offered everything. He's offered everything. You're right.
Of course.
You know why? Because he doesn't want to fuck around with the United States. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
That's exactly what it is. You know what? Venezuela has been so corrupted. There were multiple opportunities for a previous administration to take care of business, and I'm talking about Obama. Obama had an opportunity when the election was stolen, outright, clearly stolen, and Obama did nothing. He had an opportunity to bring it to international attention, did nothing. This last election cycle, Maduro is common knowledge, clearly evident that he stole the election again, didn't win, refused to step down. things are going to happen at rapid pace. He needs to get out of there. But at the same time, we had our Navy sitting off the coast. Obviously, they're not that far from here, but we've got bombers flying over and doing pass-bys on the coast of Venezuela. We've got the Navy out there. We've got submarines out there. There's helicopters flying around out there. They've got special forces down in that region, and they're going after the drug smugglers. They've taken out 5 boats already. Venezuela and a submarine. Venezuela and the government are the culprits. That was a prosperous country. The socialists destroyed it. The socialist communists, they absolutely devastated that country. And so you want a wake-up call to all the leftists in the UK, all the leftists in the US that are destroying their country. There it is. There's your representation. So if you're a Democrat, socialist, you're a Democrat, you're a leftist, just open your eyes and look to what happened in Venezuela. And thank God for Trump, because of Trump, Trump is taking care of business everywhere in the world right now. All he has to do is, the reason why that has to happen, America first, because these countries are impacting our survival. And Venezuela is the culprit of drug smuggling, and they're allowing way too much. Soon it's going to be Vancouver and Canada. So Canada's on notice as well right now. And the leftist government up in Canada is on notice. So we probably need a wall in Canada, because Canada is kind of dangerous at this moment. But drugs are being smuggled in through Vancouver. Why? Because it's a port of entry from China. Where do all the resources come? The base product of the drugs, they come from China, and now they're being smuggled into Canada, and Canada is becoming the next number 2 drug smuggler into the US. So Canada's on notice, Venezuela's on notice, and it's going to keep continuing. Why? Because America first. And that's what it is, right? So make America great again. And every country has to think that way. It's not just us. And there's too many people out there that want to have it America only, not America first, but America only, and they want to shut our borders down. That's the wrong approach. You don't shut your borders down. You put your country as number 1. Look out for your interests. Look out then for your allies' interests, because we need allies in the region and around the world. But we're first, number 1. And anybody who's trying to attack us, like Venezuela, if you're threatening our survival, well, he just put him on notice. The next step, they were getting ready to take out his missiles. So, and they were talking about that over the past couple of days, knowing that we have the Navy off his shores, but they do have a protective missile battery that came in from Russia. So those are number 1 target. They would have to take those out. Then they send in the helicopter gunships, and they'll send in the plane flying sorties over wherever the drug runners are and drug production is. And that might still be in the cards. So, certain things I'm sure could potentially happen, but this guy's got to step up and step down. And we need to put Venezuela back on track, because Venezuela was a prosperous, wealthy country. I used to have business down in Venezuela, and that all shut off to zero.
Argentina too. Argentina was one of the most prosperous countries. Go back 100 years, one of the most beautiful South American countries. Same thing. Right. Alien Tron says, how else will the U.S. government and bankers have a black market side hustle without drug cartels? That's right. Every country, Daniel Smith says, every country should have its own sovereignty. Absolutely. Well said. That's right. 100%.
Number 1.
Exactly right.
Put their country first, and don't allow the smuggling of all the illegals into their countries.
And let's check this out here. This is Brandon Straka. It's really on point from what you were saying about socialism, Jeff. But this is Brandon Straka. He was the founder of the walk away movement, if you remember that. That was like, if you're walking away from the Democrat Party. This happened back in 2016, but he would put up a video. But he was a former leftist. He's an openly gay man. And be always like, well, there's no, the right hates gay people. Well, he's pretty hardcore right. And he started that movement. And you started seeing all these people filming videos with the hashtag walk away. And they were like, hey, look, I can't put up with it. You're seeing more people walking away. Although they're not filming the videos, you're hearing them talk about, like, I can't support this stuff anymore. I can't support a party that supports illegals before they'll support their own constituents. It doesn't make any sense. But this is a really well put together video, I thought.
You've heard people say it. Socialism just hasn't been done right yet.
But the truth is, it's been tried over and over again, and it's failed every time.
Venezuela once had the richest economy in Latin America. Then it embraced socialism. Within a decade, the currency collapsed and inflation hit 1.7 million%. People's savings became worthless. Grocery store shelves went empty and millions fled the country. In Cuba, socialism promised equality. What it delivered was poverty. Today, the average monthly salary there is under $20, and people stand in line for hours for basic goods. In the Soviet Union, over 100 million people died under socialist communist regimes. It wasn't bad luck, it was the system itself. Every time government takes control of production of wealth, freedom disappears and suffering follows. People say, we'll do it differently here, but every socialist experiment starts with the same promise and ends the same way. Shortages, corruption, collapse. So don't fall for the myth that socialism just needs the right people to make it work. It's been tested dozens of times in every continent, and it fails every time. Socialism doesn't lift people up, it pulls everyone down.
Paid for by Defeat Mom Donnie Pack.
That is awesome. So I'm so happy to see that he has a pack. That guy, Brendan Straka, he was put through the ringers by the Biden administration.
So January 16th?
The leftists, January 6th, the leftists destroyed his life for a while. I mean, it's just unbelievable how corrupted these people are. And then anytime they point fingers and make claims that anybody on the right is corrupted, then you know exactly, they're just broadcasting. This is why you can't trust them. This is why we said in the beginning, any of those guys who stepped up, not all of them, because there's a few that embraced crypto, but for the most part, they came out as a talking point. But the majority of the Democrat for all those years, especially under Biden, were trying to destroy the crypto industry. It was unbelievable how they're trying to destroy an industry, because this is their power. This is their power hold, their stranglehold on revenue. They were and corruption. And it's so self-evident now. We see where the money was coming through USAID and other government and non-government organizations, and that cycle of funds. FTX was collapsed. That was a massive slush fund for them. There were so many massive slush funds that were feeding the Democrat narrative, feeding the Democrat leftist media. These media organizations and news channels were failing, yet they were paying their newscasters, quote unquote newscasters, their teleprompter readers. They were paying them millions upon millions of dollars, and they're gone. That's it. Done. They can't exist anymore. Their narrative is so fictitious to the point that it's a minority of population that really adheres to it, but they make it look like it's a majority. And that's socialism 101, communism 101. It's a minority controlling the majority, making you believe that the majority believe the way they believe. And if we saw anything and learned anything during the shutdown from the fictitious flu that they spread around, and the way they handled it and the way they tried to shut people down and have neighbor turn on neighbor. And we saw it happen in other countries. We saw how Canada treated their people. We saw how different cities treated their people and their population centers, not in Florida. Florida was the land of the free, and people remember that. And thank God for that, because you have to maintain that freedom. And the one thing I always said, Chip, throughout is that the American ingenuity and passion for freedom will win out every single time, because you can come up against us. And the reason why our thought process and our mindset is totally different. This is why we can't have illegal immigrants coming to this country, because they don't share our mindset for freedom. They come in here with their warped ideology of fascism, of socialism, of communism, of dictatorship. And they don't come here because they want freedom. They come here because they're trying to displace population centers. You can't bring, and if you bring over a small group and they assimilate over here, they want to assimilate, they want the passion, and there are people like that. When you bring them over in mass numbers, they're not coming here to assimilate. They're coming over here to displace, and it's a purposeful displacement, because we've seen it in other countries. They don't embrace our passion for freedom. They represent the exact opposite of our passion for freedom, which is why we have to keep stepping up. Again, they're also utilizing our freedoms against us. They come out, freedom of speech, they claim minority status. And as soon as they get a majority, guess what? Minorities don't matter anymore because they're going to crush you. They're going to crush you to their will. And that's what we're seeing in parts of the UK. And in parts of Europe, they come over and they crush your spirit, they crush your will, and they have the leftist regime at their beck and call right now. The leftist regime are their apologists, and it's so dangerous. And you go to the Middle East, and these same people are the ones that are being kicked out of the Middle East right now. You go to Saudi Arabia, you go to Dubai, you go to through the UAE, many of those countries that tried to modernize and make adjustment have kicked these people out of their country because they don't want them there, right? We've seen the collapse of Afghanistan, the try to appease and fix, and we've seen it recollapse again over in Afghanistan based on the mindset. And we've seen it in multiple different countries. And the latest country that's being overrun where Christians are being massacred is over in Nigeria. It happens in Sudan, happened in Nigeria, happened throughout Africa, happens throughout the Middle East, happened in Lebanon, happened in Syria, all over the place. Nobody protests. I don't see even conservatives protesting. It's so disgusting that you'll see people that'll come out. They claim to be constitutionalists. They claim to support America. If you support America's number one, then why don't we also support the brethren around the world that need helping? Like that, when we see them being massacred like that, it's so crazy. And I'm not talking about fighting back against terrorists that try to kill you, because the terrorists are the same people. These are the same mindset, same people. There's no differentiation. The ones that topple Lebanon, the ones that topple Syria, the ones that are toppling Nigeria are the same ones that Israel was fighting against. So don't try to kid yourself. Don't try to fool yourself in any way, shape, or form. Don't buy into the mainstream media twisting of true narrative. It's the same people that we're going to have to fight in this country. It's the same people that the British are going to have to fight. And that's probably over in England is probably going to come to armed conflict, because it's the only way they can save themselves at this point. I don't know how I don't know how they're going to save themselves. They're so overrun over there. There's no other way to come back. And I see the police are so ineffective and worthless over there. And because they've created worthless police forces that aren't even armed. They can't even do anything to stop the barbarism that's happening on the streets, and they can't go into these quote unquote no-go zones. It's so horrible to see that. America first, let England be first, let whatever country you're in be first. But thank God, we're on the right track in this country, because we always fight for freedom, Chip.
Right.
That was my rant for the day.
No, I loved it. It was spot on. You're getting a lot of accolades over here too. I mean, Jim D says this perfectly. Socialism is a hybrid strain of the Marxist Trojan horse free stuff crap. Give you free stuff, you'll be better. In Venezuela, you'll have free gas. You'll have free food. No taxes. Right? It was that was the big promise, right? And they basically took over all the farms. They took over everything, became state owned. You had a business here for 120 years. Sorry, the state owns it now. Good luck. And a lot of people, luckily to get out with their lives, a lot of people were killed. You don't hear about either. But socialism, when you talk about it, the men behind the curtains use it as a weapon of control. And no, it's BS ideology. So under that Brendan Straka video that we just had, America, baby, had that. So this is one of my favorite memes that I've seen. Socialism begins with questions like, oh, why can't we provide health care for everyone? And ends like questions like this. CNN International, can rabbit meat save Venezuela? That's how it ends. It always ends with that, right? How do we provide health care? And then questions like, can rabbit meat save Venezuela from going hungry? Check this one out.
From a country that used to be a mass exporter of beef. I'm just saying.
That's the wild part about it. So taquilla, a religious concept that allows Muslims to lie, deceive, or hide their beliefs if it helps spread Islam or protect its agenda. Don't be fooled by the mass. Sometimes tolerance is just a strategy.
Correct. And it's an exact belief. Why do you think, they talk about, if you have to pay, if you're non-Muslim in some of these other countries, they say you can live there, or you live as a second class or third class citizen, but you're not deserving of, you have to pay a tax.
Now, if you watch the debates, I watched the entire debate. Okay, so it was Curtis Sliwell, it was Como, and it was this guy. So Como was a former governor, First of all, he's a fast-talking car sales guy, right? He says nothing. He means nothing. He's a little bit polished in the way he communicates, but Como was completely ineffective. Sleewell, look, he's a street dude. He was he was behind the Guardian Angels. He's just not qualified to be up there.
No.
He's a so-called conservative. He's really not. He's more, I would say, Rhino, left-leaning. And he landed a couple good punches. There were a couple good ones he got into Mandami, but again, he's not coming from a standpoint. But one of the things I will say is, so you have Mandami asking Como, "Have you ever visited a mosque? What's the name of the mosque? What's the name of the mosque?" I'm sorry, man. This is a Judeo-Christian country. How many synagogues have you visited? How many churches have you visited? Okay, so you're asking about a mosque. You're asking about a very small portion of what and you're getting on Como, and Como didn't turn back and say, "Oh, I'm sorry. What was the name of the synagogue you visited?" That's my first question. Wow. You guys hate the Jews. You want to kill the Jews? Oh, tell me how many synagogues. What was the name of the synagogue? Please tell me. What churches did you visit? He totally missed it. Como was on defense the whole time. Yeah. He rarely went on offense. I will give Sleewell some credit for landing a couple good punches and some good questions. But you ask this guy a question, he's a typical politician, doesn't answer any of them, doesn't have an answer for anyone. Como did ask him about the defund the police, and he's like, "I never said that. Oh, I never said that." Well, got about 30 posts on there. Then you got this one, Democrat socialist candidate for New York Mayor Zoran the Moron Mandami just said voters they should expect to give up 52% of their paychecks to help pay for his radical communist agenda.
Great. You know what I say, Chip? We were talking about this earlier. Good riddance to New York City. You voted for this stuff. You allow this to happen. You suffer. You're going to vote this guy in. You suffer the consequences. That's all. The money drain from New York City is going to be the greatest in the history of this country has ever seen. It's already started. We already see the stock exchanges moving to other states. Forget Wall Street. Forget all the money that's in New York City. Gone. People are going to leave so fast. There's going to be such a massive brain drain and money drain on New York City. It's going to be worse than it was in the 70s. And you know what? People in New York City deserve exactly what they get. It's hard to say it. You deserve exactly what you get. You keep up with your leftist politics. You keep up with your anti-Semitic rhetoric. You keep up with your anti-Christian rhetoric. You want to be New York City and be avant-garde and be anarchists and atheists. Good luck. Good riddance, because Sharia law is coming to your doorstep and you're going to be fleeced of every last dollar that you have in New York City. You have an opportunity right now. He wins. Your opportunity is to leave as soon as you possibly can, or you're going to have to fight back with a passion. The one good thing is, again, I'm going to go back to American ingenuity for freedom and the passion. We suffered through 4 years under Biden. People are going to suffer 4 years under him. It's going to get really bad in New York City, and somewhere there's going to be this passion and this drive to reform New York. And 4 years from now, it's going to go through a resurrection. And it's going to go ultra conservative, and they're going to bring it back. But in the meantime, 4 years, it's going to fleece. Money is going to flee out of New York City like no one's seen before. Then 4 years from now, there's going to be a rebuilding, but you're going to suffer for at least 4, 8, 10 years. There's going to be a decade of suffering in New York City if he gets elected. But then there will be a comeback at some point, just like there was here. New York City is going to suffer it worse than the U.S. as a whole suffered under Biden. It's going to be tragic for a little while. That's my forecast. But
Jeff, I know what you think. Funny. It's so weird. We didn't really talk about this, but it's funny how we're always lockstep on this whole thing. But here you go. Yeah. So the new poll came out. CNN was talking about Mandani was at 45% before the debate. He went up to 39 or 49%. Como went up 1 percentage point. Actually, Sleewa dropped 2 percentage points, right? So this guy named Rhino Roastmaster said Sleewa, who is the Republican guy, who is sitting at 15% right now, needs to drop out and beg his supporters to vote for Como. It's a Hail Mary pass, the only path to victory for Como at this point. And I took that ticked me off. Okay, you're a Rhino Roastmaster, and you are a person on a conservative asking to vote for this is the wrong way. And I said I disagree. Como's handling of COVID was a disaster. He sent seniors to nursing homes where they were left to die. That's not leadership. That's negligence. Mamdani needs to be elected. New York won't change through polite politics or even half measures until voters feel the full weight of the consequences, the economic decay, the crime, the exodus of families and businesses. The status quo will remain. Sometimes it takes real suffering to wake people up. And right now, New York is overdue for that awakening. Jeff, spot on. 100% to what you said there. I mean, going back to this.
Spot on. Holy cow.
Right. Going on to this. All tyrannies rule through fraud and force, but once the fraud is exposed, they must rely exclusively on force. George Orwell. There you go. Here's another one. Socialism is resentment disguised as compassion, enforced by tyranny disguised as tolerance. That is beautifully said right there.
That's great.
And you've got socialism kills millions because it's never been done perfectly. Capitalism makes millions prosperous, even though it's never been done perfectly.
I love it. That's so
great.
True.
Yeah, it's great. And this whole thing was just filled with just great memes. I mean, all the people just kind of popped in here. Socialism, so good, people climb 15 feet high walls and risk being shot to escape from it. Sure, that's how amazing. That's how amazing.
How great it is.
It's so great, Jeff. Everyone loves it. You know, it's like it's and the problem is with the youth when they don't know any better and they didn't learn history in school. One of the big problems there is that free stuff and I can buy a house. You'll be given a house. That starts sounding really exciting stuff they haven't done their history. By the way, did you see this was showed in I love this meme. It's been done a million times, but somehow it just became more effective with Trump.
You're right. You know why? Because he doesn't want to fuck around with the United States. Thank you, everybody.
Obviously, that was a meme, but you just got to love it. That's how people feel. They actually feel like this has been, done really well. Stephen A. So I love Stephen A. I always loved him in ESPN for a long time, and I don't always agree with his positions, but I like the guy because he does step out. I'm like, dude, what is stopping you? But check out what Stephen A. had to say about this. This is so spot on.
Let me be very, very clear. If the Democratic Party becomes the likes of Zoran Mamdani, who, by the way, I like, I'm not trying to throw any shade on him or anything like that, but if the Democratic Party becomes...
This is so great. He says, I like him. I'm not trying to throw shade, but watch what he basically eviscerates him. So
him, you have no chance. You have no chance on a national basis in terms of the presidency. In Senate seats in the House, you have no chance. You have no chance. I want to be very, very clear about that. You might have a Democratic socialist sprinkled here and there, but that ain't what America is. America's about capitalism. America's about dollars and cents. America's about an economy, a flourishing economy. Okay? And you know what it's not about? Free stuff. Somebody got to say it, so I'm going to say it. Somebody got to say it, so I'm going to say it.
That's
Thank you
right.
for saying that. It's so spot on. You know what it's not about? It's about free stuff.
It's not about free stuff. Thank God. There's so many people that are stepping up. And we definitely need that. We definitely need more of it. And it's critical. But to your point, New York is going to have to suffer through some bad times in order to see the good times. Sometimes you got to take that step back. And unfortunately, the New York crowd, they suffered horribly 9/11. That was such a tragic event.
Right.
How do we go 24 years in the future and all of that gone? That suffering and that emotion and that never again mentality and that New York first, America come together, America fight together. We have to rebuild. We have to re-energize.
Right.
We have to fight for freedom. What happened? 24 years, and here's where we're at. We're full circle, like that never happened. And New York and the New Yorkers are bringing in an Islamist, communist that wants to tax you to death, and you're going to fleece your city of money. 24 years. How did you let that happen? How does he have such a high level of support in New York? So you know what? The problem in New York overall, and a good friend of mine told me this once, and he was a professor of political science, and really, really smart guy. And we were sitting at lunch one day, and we're talking about New York politics. We're in Detroit, and he said the problem in New York, which is why Hillary Clinton got elected there, is that New Yorkers don't look at content or substance. They're too attracted to the glitz and glamour of Hollywood. Not, and that's New York City. New York City wants glitz. They want glamour. They want look good. They want the look good. That's all they care about. They want the prestige. They don't want the substance. That's New York City. That's the New York City populace as a whole. Too much prestige, no substance. And so Hillary Clinton, not from New York, becomes a New York state senator, never lived in New York, comes to New York, gets elected. How exactly does something like that happen? You go from Secretary of State because it's status, stature, and the visual, not necessarily the substance or the content. And he told me that that's the problem with New York, and New York City is going to suffer, and New York will suffer as a direct result of that in the future. And here we are, 24 years fast forward, and here we are.
That was the professor who's much smarter than me. I'll tell you that my three things, the reasons for New York. Number one, woke mind virus. Number one, once that weasels its way in, you're bad. It's leftism, right? It's classic leftism. The free stuff, the socialism, that's the other part of it. And the third one, what was the third one? Man, I forgot what my own third one was. I always used to think I should write these down, but I haven't formulated.
You need to write them down. After one, I think you only need one. It's the woke mind virus. You're right.
Well, I know what the third one was. Untreated mental illness. That's the other one. It seems like so many people are just untreated these days. That's another. So it's a combination of all three of those. Trump, it was, obviously had Zelensky at the White House here. So here are two little clips right here. Here's Trump talking about a tunnel. Yeah, Fetterman, good one. Music is Life said Fetterman's calling out his own party. Fetterman, I don't know. He had a stroke. He was out of commission for a while, and his brain healed. It healed great. It healed in a very way. It's like everything was wrong with him all of a sudden healed, and everything became great. What's funny is his parents are hardcore. I don't know if you know, but his parents are conservative. So I don't know if he's been having too many conversations with them. I think I read that somewhere. So here we go.
This came up yesterday. A tunnel from Russia. Yesterday. A tunnel from Russia to Alaska. That's a
So Putin, when his conversation with Putin, this conversation came up about a tunnel from Russia to Alaska.
Interesting. What do you think of that, Mr. President? Do you have any ideas? How do you like that idea?
I'm not happy with this.
I don't think you're going to like it. I don't.
Yeah, Zelensky, how does he like the idea? This is the greatest thing ever. I mean, this is masterful. Look at the press is all there. Yeah. He asked them, and he's not happy with the idea. Like, this is just fantastic.
Look at this.
God, table. I mean, this is exactly what I voted for right here, Jeff. This is exactly what I voted for. How do you punch someone in the face without punching them in the face? The greatest thing in the world, right? So here's another one. Check this one out.
Correct.
Israel and President Trump earlier in the week, we heard a lot about the difference in diplomacy between President Trump and President Joe Biden before him. What do you see as the biggest difference in diplomacy between President Trump and President Biden?
President Trump
Look at that suit.
has a big chance now to finish this war. President Biden now is not the president, so he doesn't have a chance to finish this war. And President Trump is really showed for the world that he can manage ceasefire in Middle East, and that's why I hope that he will do this, and we will also have such big success. For Ukraine, it's a big chance, and I hope that President Trump can manage it.
I would
So now Trump chimes in. Here we go.
say the biggest difference is one is extremely competent and the other one is grossly incompetent.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
By the way, did I tell you, Jeff, that was 100% exactly what I voted for?
Yep, that's 100%. 110%.
I mean, it's surprising me in ways that I haven't even really kind of considered. Like, there's so many great things out there, but this was this is part. We're going to show a part of the Mandani debate here. but done with baby Mondani. Here we go.
Mr. Mondani, you work as a foreclosure prevention counselor for winning seat in the state assembly. You have no substantial management experience. How are you ready to lead the nation's largest and greatest city in the world in one day? You have a minute.
You know, I have the experience of having served in the New York State Assembly for 5 years and watching a broken political system, the experience of seeing a governor in Andrew Cuomo who would rather have served his billionaire donors and the working class New Yorkers who voted for him, and the experience amidst all of...
By the way, if you missed that, that was Bill Ackman.
Oh, yeah.
Did you hear him? He brought up Bill Ackman in the debate. By the way, he brought up Bill
that's
Ackman.
right.
New Yorkers.
What I love about these things is they go, if you got, it's really deep. You got to, sometimes you don't know who the people are, but it has nothing to do with this. So that's why these are really fun to watch.
Voted for him. And the experience amidst all of that, of fighting and winning for working class taxi drivers to free them from predatory debt. And
I like that working class taxi drivers. That's right out of the show Taxi.
Yeah.
to free them from predatory debt, and delivering the first free bus lines in New York City history, and in working with unions and working class New Yorkers to finally raise taxes. Just
recognize that, right?
Coming to America.
It's funny.
To finally raise taxes just that little bit on Mr. Cuomo's donors to start to fully fund our public school. And more than that, I have the experience of being a New Yorker, someone who has actually paid rent in the city before I ran for mayor, someone who has had to wait for a bus that never came, someone who that never
the Peterman reality tour.
Yeah.
wait for a bus that never came, someone who actually buys his groceries in this same city. And what all of that experience has shown me, which Mr. Cuomo can't seem to understand, is that it is far too expensive and far too hard for New Yorkers to afford to live in this city. And the definition of experience is not doing the same thing again and again and hoping for a different result. That's actually the definition of insanity.
Thank you, Mr. Mondani.
If I can, I think I was invoked.
Yes.
In other words, what the Assemblyman said is he has no experience. And this is not a job for someone who has no management experience to run 300,000 people, no financial experience to run $115 billion budget. He literally has never had a job. On his resume, it says he interned for his mother. This is not a job for a first-timer. Any day, you could have a hurricane, you have, God forbid, a 9/11, a health pandemic. If you don't know what you're doing,
if you're missing all these, you're missing all these references here.
This is not a job for a first-timer. Any day, you could have a hurricane.
Singing in the rain.
God forbid, a 9/11.
Bush.
There's Bush.
9/11.
Health pandemic.
There's Como eating French fries. Remember?
Oh, that was Como eating French fries. That's what that was. Oh my God.
Thank you, Mr. Cuomo. We have to move on. Mr. Mondani,
that's right.
respond?
Was that for the free hamburger?
Then why would New York?
Yeah, you get a burger and free fries if you got a jab.
Turn back to the governor who sent seniors to their death in nursing homes.
Why would you throw seniors to their death in nursing homes?
And if we have a health pandemic, then why would New Yorkers turn back to the governor who sent seniors to their death in nursing homes?
I say he's not right. He's not wrong there. I mean, my God, that's like that's something right there. But holy cow, that!
Oh my God.
I mean, you got to say
it's so brilliant. Whoever put those together is just brilliant.
Yeah, that they do a great job. So this is a guy laying it out to an Islamist, and this guy, holy cow, man, this guy is so brutally honest. He totally 100% nails it over in the UK. Check this out.
Think in my country, believe me, every inch of this land is mine. My ancestors have lived here for over 1,000 years. I don't believe in bending anything to newcomers. You've chosen to live in my country. You live by our ways. We have the right to intellectually criticize one another's faiths. As a Christian, I'm not intimidated by that. We've already gone through hundreds of years of doing this to ourselves. Christianity can stand up to it. Islam, by contrast, is pretty new to the world of getting criticized intellectually. It is absolutely right to criticize Muhammad, his conduct, his words, his right to criticize the Quran. And if you don't like that, go and live somewhere else. We will be better off without you. in this country. I want a country that will destroy anyone who does not accept the terms that I offered. Any Islamist who tries to impose Sharia law, any Islamist who thinks that we're going to use violence because you criticised our prophet or you criticised our book, I want a country that will destroy their lives, take away their kids, chuck them in prison, stop them having jobs, boot them out of the country. I do not want to tolerate any Muslim living in this country that does not accept the Christian heritage of this land and what comes with that. If you are willing to accept the Christian heritage of the nation, then there's a place for you. It's not just get rid of Muslims because they're Muslims. But I don't give a shit about Islamists. I think we need to ruin their lives, and anyone who even slightly hints at an Islamist ideology should be dealt with mercilessly, ruthlessly. Are we clear about the term?
Are we clear about the terms? I think
the guy didn't even get a word in edgewise, but man, it was like so.
But he isn't wrong.
So spot on. Here's another wonderful scene here. French girl harassed by two migrants. A man and his Atlassian, which is a dog, intervene. So here they are. She's sitting on a park bench. You got two men that are just harassing her. He walks over with the dog.
Bonjour. Vous allez bien?
How you doing? The guy said, no, we're good. Why are you bothering her? We want to be a star.
Du coup, elle a refusé.
So she refused.
Mais du coup, pourquoi forcer si elle a
She
refusé?
refused. Why force her? What do you mean?
Ça marchera pas, c'est pas comme ça
It
qu'il faut
won't
traiter
work.
une
It's
femme.
not the way to date a woman. Okay.
Moi, ça me regarde pas, mais Red, ça le regarde, parce qu'il aime pas qu'on agresse les femmes.
You can look at me like that, but don't look at the dog about ready to
Au bout d'un moment,
rip
il va
him
arrêter de
up.
regarder, il va intervenir. Moi, je vous propose de partir, on
I
arrête.
suggest you leave. We're not going to leave. We're not going to leave. It's our
Mais
home.
pourquoi vous êtes comme ça?
Do you want? Please move with your dog.
Attention.
Be careful. Dog. They move
And there
pretty
he
quick.
goes. They move fast.
They moved pretty quick. Remove your dog. No.
Tell you what, we need more of that though, Chip, because those groups are terrified of dogs. They also treat dogs. If you go to their home countries, they treat dogs poorly, really poorly. They're terrified of them. And what he did, it was like perfect situation.
Beautiful.
They're terrified. He broke them up, sent them running, and if they dared attack him, and I think we definitely need more of that. It's really critical.
Command.
People need to step up.
How about England? More about the UK here, Jeff. Check this out.
Moving on, a 12-year-old Jewish boy is under investigation by counter-terrorism officers after he said that he wanted Hamas to be wiped out. GB News can reveal this story because the boy's family, who have requested anonymity, of course, have been interviewed by counter-terrorism police and local police officers about a fear of radicalisation after his comments about Hamas. It's an astonishing story, and to talk about it, I'm joined by GB News reporter Charlie Peters, who investigated this story. Charlie, a 12-year-old Jewish boy, hardly Al-Qaeda. Tell us more.
Well, this boy, we understand, was reported to prevent the government's counter-extremism duty and body by the safeguarding lead at his school. We understand the family's from South Tyneside. We're not identifying the school or the family. But this report was made after the teacher asked this boy, just 12 years old, is there anything in the news that's upsetting you at the moment? And he's understood to have said, yes, Hamas, reacting to the war ongoing between Israel and Hamas in the West Bank, etc., and is then understood to have been saying that he wants them to be wiped out. Now, Hamas, we should stress, is a proscribed terrorist organisation. The government's position on this is that it should be destroyed, it should suffer. But as it happens, the report from the family is that this was then passed on to those counter-extremism officers. And we've heard an audio recording of a police officer and a counter-extremism officer interviewing the boy's parents alongside a representative from Faircop called Harry Miller.
I'm listening.
No, we can't watch it. But what's
ridiculous.
What's happening over in England where you have a post like that? And he's talking about
a terrorist group.
Organization.
He
Right,
wants
he's
them
talking about a
destroyed.
terrorist organization, and then the woke-minded of the virus of the political movement over in the UK decides they need to step in, and we've seen video after video after video similar to this. This is a 12-year-old kid. What? It's mind-boggling, the stuff that we're seeing coming out of there. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't know how a country falls so fast. I mean, and it's falling faster and faster. When you come after your public like that, and you come after a 12-year-old kid, and you're going to come up with a counterterrorism representative and police because he puts a post up about a terrorist organization that was murdering people. And this is what, and yet they let their Islamists run loose and call for murder and death on the streets. It's just mind-boggling to me.
Chad says that Islamists don't like dogs because the dogs are excellent judges of character.
That's right.
They know it. They can sense what's going on. We're getting ready to do a drawing, but I wanted to play this one last video here. But this is, believe it or not, there was an illegal who was caught up in an ICE raid who happened to be a police officer in Illinois who was carrying a weapon. And if you're an illegal, you cannot have a weapon, but that doesn't matter. Not if you're in Illinois. There are no rules, and no rules apply there.
So how long have you been a police officer?
Since January 8th.
January of this year?
Correct. I just finished the academy.
You just finished the academy, okay. All right.
You had to get that.
Just to confirm though too, so they hired you on, you had work authorization?
Correct.
And you were able to carry a firearm?
No.
Okay.
On duty, yes. Off duty, no.
So on duty you could carry a firearm?
State of Illinois, you need a FOID and a CCW to carry a weapon off duty.
But on duty you could?
Correct.
Wow. You know, what's crazy about this is I don't know anything about him other than he says he loves America. The problem is he's not even a citizen. So he can't own a firearm legally in our country, but he's being given a firearm by the state of Illinois as a police officer in the state. And apparently they just, all you have to have is work authorization in this state. That is insane. You haven't even sworn allegiance to our country yet, and yet we're giving you a firearm. Now, this guy may be a great guy, but how many others are working in our country as police officers who aren't great guys?
It's hard to understand, Jeff. It really is hard to understand. We got 11.
Someone like that, it's like serving in the military, right? If you serve in the military, they can help fast track you to citizenship, green card and citizenship. They've done that for many, many years. That to me could be a similar type of scenario, right? If you bring someone like that, that's passion, wants to be a citizen, wants to embrace the freedoms of this country, can they create a scenario where they fast track him to citizenship if he's going to serve the public and he's going to serve his community like that and as a police officer? You know, is there a possibility of fast tracking someone that comes in, but he's illegally here, they said. So he wasn't even here legally.
He's not here legally yet. I think it was from Croatia or something. I think it was Croatia or somewhere in Eastern Europe.
There. Yeah.
So Ash UK says, I'm guessing both of you are Zionists, right? Here we go again.
But Ash is he's talking about Asians. I'm assuming you're talking about like from India. You're not talking about people from the Middle East coming in, the Islamists that are coming in to bring the UK down. Not talking about Asian. And again, I assume you're talking about Indian, or maybe you're talking about Pakistani, or maybe you're talking about from other parts of Asia. I don't know what you're referencing when you talk about Asians. Be very specific on who you're talking about.
UK is great because Asians pay the most tax and bring in revenue. It's just the rest are lazy and zealous of Asians' achievements.
Who are the Asians? You can't lump everyone into one group. Asians.
Well, this is what they do in the UK.
Chinese? Are you talking about
Jeff? You don't understand. India is a part of Asia, so they lump in India, Pakistan, right? But the way we refer to Asians, we think of mostly to the right of mostly like India, right? That's like.
But let's separate the groups, right? You can't lump everyone in because they're not all coming at it the same way. You have different communities, different backgrounds. Are we talking about in the embracing of Islamism, or are we talking about Indians coming in that want to build and they're building businesses? What are we talking about specifically? You can't lump everybody in as Asian. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it's a very big group, huge,
way
massive,
too big of a group,
billions of people. It's like.
And all that does, I mean, it's a fake narrative. It's fake terminology. You guys over in the UK can stick to your fake terminology and you want to twist your narrative into falsehoods all you want. That's the problem that you have in the UK. It's because you're not being clear. You're twisting everything into a false narrative. But then if you want to talk about what England did over in India and how they fleeced India of their natural resources for many, many years as they colonized India and the suffering that India went through, but also the positives that India got. I'm not saying the parliament is a positive, but the Indian form of government and things that there were a lot of positives that came out of it. Just like in this country, there were a lot of positives that came out of England, even though obviously we fought for our freedoms and separation thereof from the UK. And so you think about all the negatives and positives. Don't lump everyone into one group. Be very specific and very clear. I don't like that. It's kind of how they try to in Latin America. What is it? What do the liberals call them? Latinx or something? Because they try to lump Mexico and all the Latin countries together. What do they call it?
The reason they call it Latinx is because the Spanish has male and and female parts of the word, A or O, depending on if it's feminine or masculine. So they were trying to basically change the language and try to lump it all into the whole idea with the identification. That was the whole Latinx movement. No one who's really Hispanic really identifies with Latinx. It's all the white liberal people who want to label it.
That's exactly.
Yeah, it's just another label on something that white liberals love to come up with. Pretty much. It's almost 10 o'clock. Look at that, Ray Ron. Look at that.
But to Ash's point, if I want to show, when you have people that come in that have a passion for freedom, the people that come to our country, to the United States from all over the world, and I don't care where they're from, they could be from Asia, they could be from the Middle East, they could be from Africa. I don't care where they come from, and they come to this country for the freedom and the American dream. Those people work harder than anybody that you can imagine. They'll do the jobs, they'll build the business, they'll do anything they have to do, and they'll work mornings, they'll work nights, they'll clean windows, they'll do whatever they have to do, and then they'll buy. Then the next step is invest in the next level of business. They're very, very entrepreneurial, and that to me is the American dream. And he said one thing here, that you have a lot of lazy people there. 100% agree with you. There's a lot of
why work when you
there's a lot of lazy, right? But just the rest. I would say there's a lot of people in the UK who are lazy. Why? Because the government, based on socialist policy, had something called the dole, and anyone who came out of high school was immediately put on the dole, where they're getting money from the government with no incentive to work. And that was a very socialist policy. So are there people in this country, in the US, are there people that want to make every excuse in the world as to why they can't build a business, or they can't get a job, or they can't get an education, or whatever? And then we bring people in, that come here from other parts of the world, and they will build a business. I mean, it amazes me, and so there's just so many aspects to it. It's really, really,
yeah. Well, my best buddy in the UK, his family's Indian, he's Indian, and they assimilated. Basically, they love the UK. I mean, they built a very good business. They worked their asses off, and but again, and if you'll see a lot of these rallies, you'll see a great mix. You think it's just the white people. It's not. You'll see a lot of people that are like, hey, I love this country. It gave me a tremendous opportunity. I don't agree what's happening here. That's not what it's about. It's about ideology that does not mesh with Western world, and beating women, raping women, and it doesn't, that and the Sharia law. It's not compatible with Western style life, and especially in a Christian or Judeo type of it doesn't comply at all. But anyway, let's jump into this as Ray Run brought up. It is getting late.
It
guys,
is late.
We're gonna go. Let's run the video, and we'll run this. So we have 12 in there, so you have a 1 in 12 chance. Yeah. Type in.
So by the time the video's over, we need 15, Chip.
Let's go. At least.
Who are the yucks? You'll wish you never asked. Can you win?
Your keys is in my wallet.
Your fate
on the chain.
Your word. Yeti. From the snow they rise. Badass Yetis. White tribe clan yucks. They laugh loud and hit louder. Big feet stomping, snow exploding, wild eyes gleaming, madness loading. They slip, they slide, then wham attack. You're airborne now, no laughing back. Yeti! Ha ha ha! Yeti! Yuck, yuck! Laughing for for battle.
Made for legend.
Claim yours or be forgotten.
Badass Yetis
On the chain.
is on the chain.
Boom.
AC/DC
Boom.
Yeti. There you go. That was a good one. That was a good one. Put the song on.
Before we
Jeff,
do
I'm
the
gonna pull it.
drawing, hang on. I just want to show everyone what he looks like a little bit clearer. Badass Yeti 1374. Look at that yuck. These guys are kind of the comic relief of the Badass Yeti tribes. He's of the white tribe. The Badass Yeti yucks. They're big. They're mean. They don't look mean, but you don't want to run into one. Let's put it that way. Pretty much like all the others. One smack of his paw, and it'll send you flying. They're dangerous and deadly.
There you go. Badass Yeti. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Let me find the
All right,
music.
so we got 13. That's lucky number 13. Go ahead and put the song on. We'll go ahead and pull it. I hate that I got to remove that first. It's so weird.
I know, it's such a pain in the ass.
Used to just be able to click on it. It would just go automatically. I don't like that. They did that.
Get it. I don't get it.
Here we go.
What
happened, dude?
I don't know. It's not on repeat. There we go.
Here we go, guys. Let's see who's going to win. Somebody is awful presumptuous here, Crypto World. He already put his wallet up there. He's trying to.
Well,
trying to
there
get
you
the
go.
System. He's trying to throw the system off. I see what you're doing there. Let's go. Who's it going to be? Let's see who it ends up being, people. Let's go. Who's it going to be? Dorothy. Oh, Kane.
Kane. There we go.
Cots.
Cots wins.
Cots.
Cots wins.
You got your the chain. Siri, you here, man? He's here.
Right. There we go. Badass Yetis.
Look, he's got an elder there. Look at that elder.
I like the elder.
Let's
Look at
go.
that. All right. Oh shoot, I gotta open up the YouTube.
Okay, this is good.
If you have an X handle, put your X.
Yeah, what's your X handle? Cots, what is it? Posted. Yep, we saw it. Funny, we did see it because a lot of times we did. That was like fast, man. I was like,
it was
talking
really
about.
fast.
You're talking about here and post like and literally like that's what we like to see, guys. If you're looking at how it's done right there, Koch has paved the way on how that works, how it's done. So we have that. No X, he says. No X. Okay, very good. Okay, no X.
Okay.
Boom! Congrats. So what we're gonna do now is while Jeff's working through this, I'm gonna play what looks like a liberal haunted house. You want to see what this looks like, Jeff? Check this out.
Hey, how's it going? No!
This is how's it going? The guy in a MAGA hat. He says, "How's it going?" No, liberal runs.
I, Cash Patel, am finally releasing the Epstein files. Donald Trump is not on the list.
What?
However, Jimmy Kimmel and Lin-Manuel Miranda showed up 35,000 times.
Fuck! No!
Breaking news. CNN has just confirmed that Michelle Obama is a man.
They're putting dementia on the blaming on Cheetah.
Oh my god, it's RFK Jr.
Just so the Cheetah, he's robbing our kids of their memory.
Sorry, Buster, you're going back to your country.
Stop, he didn't do anything wrong.
Oh, no, I actually just killed a guy.
No!
Okay, one matcha, that'll be $500.
Why is it so expensive?
Trump put a 5,000% tariff on matcha.
Oh my god! Okay, sounds good. Here's my EBT card.
We don't do EBT.
Oh my god! Where's the goddamn exit? Hello?
Dude, what's up?
Wait. He's wearing a Blacks for Trump shirt.
Hey, is he bothering you?
Yes, the National Guard is here. Can you arrest this man? He's with Antifa!
No! I'm not with Antifa! I'm not with Antifa!
Wow, that was
Here we
so
go.
thrilling.
Here we go, Cots. It's coming all the way to Nottingham.
Is that where you are,
Going
Cots?
through.
Nottingham?
Verifying. And it is through. Submitted successfully. Cots is now the proud owner of Badass Yeti 1374 of the Yucks. Badass Yetis of the White Tribe of Clan Yuck.
Yeah, my buddy I was talking about lives in Derby, so he's not too far from Nottingham, just a little stone's throw. And I've been to Nottingham, and I've been to that oldest, what is it, the Jerusalem pub? They're 1,000 years old, whatever it's called. That was a pretty cool place.
Anyone stacking
else?
silver? Got no silver.
I have some silver.
Yeah.
A little bit of
You have
silver.
silver coins or silver paper.
Silver coins. Silver and silver coins. So
You need to stack some silver, silver and gold. So then you can play with it.
That's it, guys. It's all the time we have here.
That's
and
it.
Guys,
When are we going to be back?
We'll see you tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern time, Jeff.
And there's your QR code for some badassery coffee. I'll have to change the logo here. It has it written up, but it's badasserycoffee.com. Badasserycoffee.com. You can just scan that. It'll bring you right there. If you want to get some coffee if you're not watching on your phone.
On the next one, Chip and Jeff.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.